I was at the beach on the weekend. I was tired after work yesterday. I was happy with the score. I was a good listener in school. I was in the park with my friends. I wasn't at home last night. I wasn't ready to go to the concert. I wasn't confident with my idea. I wasn't at the bookstore yesterday. I wasn't late for school. Was I late for the meeting? Was I in the office yesterday? Was I tired after jogging? Was I good at cooking in college? Was I with you at the coffee shop? Where was I yesterday? When was I at the concert? Why was I sad last night? Who was I with at the party?
You were at the concert last Friday. You were happy with the present. You were good at taking pictures. You were my best friend in high school. You were tired after your trip. You weren't at the party yesterday. You weren't in the mood to talk. You weren't ready for the exam. You weren't at the gym last night. You weren't there when I arrived. Were you in the library yesterday? Were you nervous before the test? Were you at the beach last Sunday? Were you tired after the concert? Were you late for work? Where were you last night? Why were you upset? When were you at the bookstore? What was your favorite subject? Who were you with at lunch?
He was in the Army 10 years ago. He was happy with the results. He was a good cook when he was a kid. He was at the gym last night. He was tired after working out. He wasn't at the party last weekend. He wasn't good at texting. He wasn't ready for the meeting. He wasn't in the mood to talk. He wasn't there when I called. Was he at home last night? Was he a good singer in high school? Was he at the bookstore yesterday? Was he nervous before the presentation? Was he tired after jogging? Where was he after school? Why was he angry yesterday? When was he at the library? What was he doing at the park? Who was he with at the concert?
She was a student at my university. She was confident with her idea. She was in the cafeteria during lunch. She was tired after work. She was good at dancing in school. She wasn't at the coffee shop. She wasn't happy with the results. She wasn't in the mood to go out. She wasn't a good driver. She wasn't home last night. Was she late for class? Was she in the park yesterday? Was she good at drawing? Was she at the concert with you? Was she upset after the test? Where was she last weekend? Why was she sad yesterday? When was she at the department store? What was she doing in the morning? Who was she with at lunch?
It was quiet in the room. It was cloudy yesterday. It was a fun concert. It was hard to solve the problem. It was crowded at the store. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't sunny in the morning. It wasn't a good idea. It wasn't my favorite thing. It wasn't possible to join. Was it noisy last night? Was it impressive? Was it helpful to read that book? Was it nice to meet her? Was it fun to play the game? What was it like at the beach? When was it cloudy? Why was it so hard?
We were classmates in college. We were tired after hiking. We were happy with the trip. We were in the same club. We were early for the meeting. We weren't ready for the show. We weren't at the party. We weren't in the same class. We weren't late. We weren't at the restaurant. Were we at the bookstore last week? Were we happy with the concert? Were we late for class? Were we at the right place? Were we tired after walking? Where were we last night? Why were we upset? What was our plan yesterday? When were we at the gym? Who was with us at the event?
They were at the concert last night. They were excited about the trip. They were in the park in the morning. They were my friends in high school. They were ready for the game. They weren't in the cafeteria. They weren't happy with the result. They weren't at home last night. They weren't good at singing. They weren't on time. Were they at the movie last weekend? Were they late for school? Were they ready to travel? Were they in class yesterday? Were they at the gym? Where were they in the evening? Why were they late? What was their plan? When were they in the city? Who was with them at the meeting?
I was tired after work yesterday. He was at the coffee shop last night. She was happy with the result. It was crowded at the park last weekend. We were at the beach last Sunday. You were in front of the building. They were in the cafeteria after lunch. I wasn't at the gym last night. He wasn't home yesterday. She wasn't nervous during the meeting. It wasn't bright in the morning. We weren't ready for the trip. You weren't in the office at noon. They weren't upset after the movie. Were you tired last night? Was he at the department store yesterday? Was she with her friends at the party? Was it noisy in the cafeteria? Were we late for the movie? Were they in the park after dinner? Why was it so quiet at the concert? Where were you last weekend? What was the weather like yesterday? Who was your favorite singer when you were a kid? I was at the beach with my family. He was a good cook when he was in college. She was at work yesterday. It was a good idea to stay home. We were together at the concert. You were at your friend's place after school. They were in line for tickets. I wasn't with them at the party. He wasn't at the gym after work. She wasn't in the mood to go shopping. It wasn't the right time to call. We weren't on vacation last month. You weren't happy with the score. They weren't at the bookstore. Were you at the concert last Friday? Was he your roommate in college? Was she your classmate in high school? Was it hard to find the place? Were we late for the meeting? Were they good friends in school? Why was he angry last night? Where were you at noon? What was your favorite thing to do as a kid? Who was your teacher in elementary school?